Houston stands up. A massive bombshell just dropped in the league, and it is about to completely shake up our entire offense. You thought our roster was locked in for the long haul? Think again. A crazy market shift just happened, and our front office is going to have to pull off some pure magic to keep our most trill superstars in Space City. Before I reveal what just went down and how this impacts our championship window, you need to smash that like button right now. Subscribe to the channel to keep holding it down with us today. The Houston Texans faithful are buzzing this week as news broke about Baltimore Ravens wide receiver Zay Flowers' massive extension. A deal that now dramatically shifts the landscape for our very own Nico Collins' next contract. Collins, a consistent and vital force in our passing offense, arrived here as a third-round pick in 2021 and has steadily grown into a top-tier target, culminating in an outstanding season where he proved his worth as C.J. Stroud's primary weapon. Earlier this offseason, the team showed faith in him by adjusting his current deal, adding $9 million for the 2026 season and an $8 million raise for 2027, temporarily making him the fifth highest paid wideout for the upcoming year. But according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Flowers just signed a 4-year, $130 million extension that kicks in starting in 2028, putting him at an average of $35 million per year, tying him with Justin Jefferson, and making him one of the top 5 highest paid receivers in the league alongside Jackson Smith-Njigba, Jamar Chase, Drake London, and CeeDee Lamb. This is not just big news for Flowers, it's a seismic shift for the entire wide receiver market, directly impacting what Collins can command when his contract is up in 2028. As Houston Texans fans, we adore Nico, and seeing him get paid is exciting, but this new market rate means Collins, who's been a consistent source of production and is in his prime, will likely seek well over $30 million annually, with a real chance to hit over $40 million. It's mind-boggling. But the recent extension for Zay Flowers with the Baltimore Ravens has completely blown up Nico Collins' future earnings, pushing his next contract far beyond the $30 million per year he just secured. Just this offseason, we felt good about the Texans giving Nico a bump, adding $9 million to his 2026 deal and an $8 million raise in 2027, making him a borderline top 5 paid receiver for the year ahead. But now, according to Adam Schefter, Flowers' 4-year, $130 million extension, averaging $35 million annually starting in 2028, sets a new bar that ties him with Justin Jefferson. This move by the Ravens effectively places Flowers among the top 5 highest paid wideouts for the length of his contract, and for a proven talent like Collins, who is also a top 10 player at his position and entering his prime, his next deal in 2028 is now projected to hit well over $40 million annually. This is a common tale for ascendant teams. We've seen promising cores eventually splinter under salary cap pressure, and our Texans are on the precipice of that very challenge. The front office, led by General Manager Nick Caserio, has outwardly shown unwavering commitment to Collins, evident in the recent pay adjustment and Caserio shutting down trade inquiries. However, behind closed doors, they're meticulously charting the financially turbulent waters ahead, knowing that key players like C.J. Stroud, Kalen Bullock, and Kamari Lassiter are also due for new deals starting in 2028, the same year Collins becomes a free agent. The part fans are not ready for is how this salary cap crunch, while 2 years away, means some tough choices are inevitable, even if Collins is deemed indispensable. Now that we've broken down the specifics of Zay Flowers' massive contract and Nico Collins' current situation, let's turn our attention to what this seismic shift in the receiver market truly signifies for our Houston Texans. For us as Texans fans, the real stakes here aren't just about a single player's paycheck. It's about the long-term viability of our championship window. While Nico's recent pay adjustment for the 2026 and 2027 seasons temporarily secured his spot as a top 5 paid receiver for the year ahead, this new Flowers deal immediately changes the calculus for his next contract, which is due in 2028. This means the generous $30 million per year range he's currently netting will look like a bargain, with his next deal potentially exceeding $40 million annually. This isn't about immediate roster changes or depth chart adjustments for this season. Nico remains a top 10 player, a consistent source of production, and pivotal to our passing offense. However, the salary cap implications for 2028 and beyond have suddenly escalated as CJ, Stroud, Kalen Bullock, and Kamari Lassiter also look for new deals that same year, on top of big contracts already given to Derek Stingley, Will Anderson, and Azeez Al-Shaair. And I cannot stress this enough, this looming financial crunch directly impacts our Super Bowl aspirations. The good news is that we have this season and next to push hard for that championship without facing these tough financial decisions. This news simply intensifies the urgency for our team to capitalize on this current roster stability over the next 2 years. As Houston Texans fans, the immediate upside of this situation is clear. Nico Collins is absolutely essential to our offense and the success of CJ Stroud. The organization's recent commitment, first with a pay bump on his current deal, and then general manager Nick Caserio totally shutting down trade inquiries, proves they recognize his value. Keeping Collins means we retain a top 10 player at his position, a consistent source of production, and a pivotal piece for our passing game as we push for a Super Bowl ring over these next 2 seasons before the larger contract crunch truly hits. It's the cost of keeping elite talent and maintaining a championship window. However, the looming financial reality highlighted by Zay Flowers' new extension, as reported by Adam Schefter with a $35 million average annual value, presents a significant risk. This deal, along with Collins' proven production, strongly suggests his next contract, due in 2028, will soar past $40 million annually. This puts a massive squeeze on the Texans' salary cap, especially with CJ. Stroud also due for a new deal that same offseason, alongside potential extensions for Kalen Bullock and Kamari Lassiter. We've already paid Derek Stingley, Will Anderson, and Azeez Al-Shaair, so paying everyone becomes a monumental task. NFL analysts and other teams around the league are certainly taking note of this escalating wide receiver market. It's universally understood that Flowers' extension sets a new higher bar for other number 1 receivers like Collins. The conversation isn't just about Nico. Elite talents like George Pickens and Puka Nacua are also looking at new deals after their contracts expire, signaling a market that will only continue to surge. The recent news of Nico Collins' contract adjustment, coupled with the monumental Zay Flowers extension, paints a clear financial picture for our Houston Texans moving forward. This financial landscape means that while we as fans should feel incredibly optimistic about the team's immediate future, we must also be realistic about the road ahead. We have a golden 2-year window, this season and next, to truly push for that Super Bowl ring, as our core talent isn't yet demanding the massive extensions that will inevitably come. The front office has shown unwavering commitment to Nico Collins, even giving him a recent bump to his current deal. General manager Nick Caserio totally shot down any trade inquiries about Collins at the draft, making it clear he's foundational. But when Zay Flowers gets a 4-year, $130 million extension from the Ravens, averaging $35 million annually starting in 2028, that's a new benchmark. And that changes everything for what Nico Collins, already a top 10 player in his position, will command on his next deal, likely well over $40 million annually when he's a free agent in 2028. This means that while we celebrate our current success, our beloved Texans will face immense pressure to make creative